Well, welcome for Best Music Coach. My name is Dan. I'm a music teacher about to listen to the Hades original soundtrack for the very first time. And to be clear, I've never heard this music before in my life. And together, we're going to discover hidden connections, understand how music works, and have some fun along the way. Let's do this thing. Type a 3 in the chat if you are ready to rumble. And we're going to do this thing. Okay, here we go. We're going to start with No Escape. Hey, chat, how's it going? Oh my goodness. If this first track is any indication of what is to come, I don't know what's further up in the hierarchy past stoked. Like, you're excited, you're stoked. I don't know what past stoked is, but I'm that thing. Now, so many, oh my gosh. Yo, this theme, which we're going to go ahead and call this theme 1, is sick for a number of reasons. Number 1, okay, like, okay. Let's get a little. Oh my gosh. And then, okay, I'm getting so excited, I can't even talk straight. So, look, it starts off with this idea of, and we're going to kind of gesture at the idea here. I'm going to pull it back just a little bit so I can snag the exact intervals of everything that happened. Okay, so sorry, I just hit the mic. And we have flat 3, flat 2, natural 3, 1. Okay. That's the first time through, and then the second time through. Yeah, but I think that changed it once it got a little heavier. It went back and forth between the threes. It might be the second time through. Okay, so then it repeats. We have the 1, which carries back to here, the first part. Deep, ba. And we're going to fast forward just a little bit, because I think that first time through the intro, the theme might be a little different. Okay, and then 3, 4, 4, 3, 4. It was 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, 5. The first song always takes a little longer, but then every song passes, we're going to be referencing this. So groove with me here. Don't lose patience with me. Okay. 5, and then I think when it got heavy that second time. Yeah, and that right there is sick. So then we also have part of theme 1, 2 is going to be alternating. So I didn't even break this down. Some of the really cool things here is the fact that we have flat 2. That's sick. That's going to give us a Phrygian sound. But no, it's not just that. We also have a flat 3 and a natural 3. And the flat 3 and natural 3 means we're going to oscillate, change back and forth between a major and a minor sound. And indeed, that's then highlighted right here in this, let's call it sort of a B section of the theme, where it's just the chords. And sure enough, the chords are C minor, outlining this first part of the theme, and then C major outlining the second part of the theme. Sick. Here we go. Okay, so now we have the theme. It's going to be pretty smooth sailing from here, except notating down new themes. Well, what we're going to look for is we're going to look for motifs from this theme to show up in pieces further on down the line. Now, what's interesting is a motif is not a theme, and a theme is not a motif. A theme contains possibly many motifs, like ba ba ba, likely a motif. Ya da da da. Maybe playing that 3 to 4. Maybe the difference between major third, minor third. Maybe the chords of the major to the minor are going to be motifs we're going to see played out through the rest of this OST. Let's keep this rock and rolling with House of Hades. Some people are saying you can't see the board. Sorry, one moment. Let me double check my screen share. Oh yeah, sorry about that. We gotta scooch it on overs. Oh, we gotta scooch it really on overs. Goodness gracious. You know, you get pre-flight checklists for everything you do. And then, I need to go the other way. There we go. We're making it happen. Okay. Let's pull this a little closer. You say, Dan, you're writing terribly small. Yeah, we have a whole OST to go through. So we're going to move and groove like that. Okay. All right, let's keep this rocking and rolling. add that to my playlist. All right. Checklist. There you go. Minor to major. Minor. Okay, so many cool things actually tying back to our first theme. We're hearing an alternating between minor and major that we heard in our first theme. In addition to that, we're going to grab this. We'll grab that idea too. So we're going to call this House of Hades. And it's going to be essentially flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6. Flat 3, 4. Now, I'm writing some of these things down. I'm not sure if these are going to come back later because I don't know this OST just yet. But that seems like a good thing that might come back. And I think there was one more real part of this that I want to grab too. And so we can see over and over again what Darren's doing to keep the idea of major and minor going throughout this OST. Is in the first the first theme, we had flat 3s going to natural 3s. And then here in House of Hades, we also have flat 3s going to natural 3s. And that ooh, and that part that's so it starts off with a flat 3 and ends on a natural 3. Now you might be saying, well, Dan, what makes that so cool? Well, the flat 3 and the natural 3 are two very potent. They're very potent notes in music. They carry a lot of weight. They're very powerful. Not all notes are as powerful as 3 and as flat 3 relative to whatever note we start. And you might say, well, how does that even work? Well, in music, we have a system of numbers and letters that helps us make sense of everything that's going on. So what we say is we say the letters are A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And after G, we don't go to H, we go straight back to A. So it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, F, G over and over and over again. That's the musical alphabet. Then what we do is we assign a number to each one of those letters. So for example, if A is 1, then B is 2, then C is 3, D is 4, E is 5, F is 6, and G is 7. But here's the thing. We can actually change which letter gets the 1. And remember, because the alphabet goes round and round and round, it never stops. It doesn't go to H after G, it goes straight back to A. This is how it works. We would say G is 1, then A is 2, B is 3, C is 4, D is 5, E is 6, F is 7. We could say D is 1, then E is 2, F is 3, G is 4, A is 5, B is 6, and C is 7. That's how the whole system works. So in this case, we're talking about changing the 3. And so what happens is if we play a 1, 3, and 5 all together at the same time, it sounds like this. That's 1, 3, and 5 all together at the same time. And anytime we play 2 of these sounds together, so this sound right here, this is a note. This sound right here, this is a note. This sound right here, this is a note. So is this, so is this, so is this, so is this. The A, B, C, D, F, and G, each one of these are notes. And anytime we play 2 or more notes together, this creates something called a chord. And so when we take the 1, 3, and 5 and put them together, it creates something called a major chord. This sounds, well, rather pleasant. You may even think it sounds happy. But if we take 1 and then we lower the 3 just a bit, we get 1 flat 3 and 5. This creates a minor chord. And the minor chord, well, it doesn't sound happy. It might sound sad to you. It might sound pensive. It might sound melancholy. There might be another adjective you want to put to it, but the point is it's not happy, right? And this major, it might not be happy to you, but it's certainly not sad, okay? So we write minor with a slash. We put this little minus sign. Excuse me, not a slash, a minus sign. We put a minus sign after the letter, so C minor. And then if If there's no extra symbols added after the letter for the chord, it's major. So in this first thing, we had C minor. Now we have C major. Then, in House of Hades, we have G minor to G major. And so there's this duality between major and minor. And what we hear oftentimes, and I don't know if this is the case with the soundtrack, but what we hear a lot of the time is that composers will use minor to major to either imply a duality within a character or a situation, like a character who can walk in two worlds, or a character who's being duplicitous, like they're saying one thing but really they're another, or there's some type of question or something hidden about the character where they are, you see one thing on the surface, but really there's a whole nother thing going on. So the use of the major minor here might just be to sound more like, what I'm about to say is like so ridiculously superficial and uneducated, like just groove with me here. It sounds kind of Greek. Do you feel me? It's like, I feel like if I'm playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I'm hearing music like this. Like, you feel me? Like, it sounds Greek. It's also the instruments too. But there's something about the minor major thing. It just sounds good. Just the use of that. It just feels ancient and Greek. But likely, more than likely, based on everything we've seen from all the OSTs we've looked at on this channel, that alternating between the flat 3 and the natural 3, that alternating between major and minor, means either duplicity, walking in two worlds, deception, something along those lines that it's going to represent. Okay, let's keep this going with House of Tartarus. It sounded more appetizing the first way. All right, House of Tartarus. If you brush your teeth, then you will be out of Tartarus. All right, let's check it out. G again. All right, 11. That was a minor third to major third right there. Major third. Oh, no. Next time, maybe. There it is. Absolutely sick. You know, I'm going to go ahead and take a guess. Chat, tell me if I'm wrong. I'm going to guess that Out of Tartarus is not actually going to be a motif we're going to hear again. Rather, that was actually more sort of like a one-off thing that we'd hear as we go through a certain level or something. But I don't think that that's going to come back much. One thing I wanted to point out is the two worlds thesis that I'm working with here so far, and it's just a working thesis. We have major to minor. We also have in the instruments mostly acoustic, but then the electronic, and indeed the way that it's recorded with the acoustic and electronic makes it feel like two separate worlds. It doesn't feel, yes, it is integrated. Yes, musically it's awesome. Yes, it's genius composing. Don't get me wrong. But there's something where it feels like, perhaps, and maybe I'm reading into it a little too far, it feels like maybe Darren is actually trying to tell us something with the use of these single electronic elements over mostly acoustic instruments, and then sort of like in the drop we had in Out of Tartarus, going into fully electronic, distorted guitars and things like that. So, just an idea there. Oh, is the camera backwards for you guys? Type a 2 in the chat if the writing on the whiteboard is backwards for you. Let me know if that's backwards. Oh. I go on Streamlabs. All right, the video is going to stop and it's going to start again, then it's going to be right. I go into Streamlabs and it auto-reversed it, and so I had to go in and change my settings, and then I didn't change it back. Okay. Let me know now if we are where we need to be, and if that is looking a little bit better. So it looks fine on my end. All right. Okay, cool. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. You know what? I always say that this entire channel is a team effort, and today we proved it, so thank you very much. Okay, let's keep this going with Wretched Shades, which is what I say when I try and open the window and it won't. Oh, these wretched shades. Okay, I'm going to stop. That wasn't even a dad joke. That was the ghost of a dad joke. Okay, Wretched Shades, here we go. Oh, something else I want to point out, too, is a lot of the melodies, well, a lot, we've only listened to 3 pieces so far, emphasizing the 5. Like, Theme 1 starts on 5, House of Hades doesn't start on 1, Tartarus really, it started off with a... Starting off on 5s, not starting off on the 1, which... spending more time on the 5, spending more time on that dominant over the 1. Oh, another thing I want to talk about, too, that we've heard in the past 3 are drones. Drones. Now, not drones like drones that they use to deliver medicine to people in other countries. or to deliver your Amazon package. But a drone is it's a consistent note or series of notes that's held throughout a piece of music for a long duration of time that gives everything else above it, well, context. So, that was a drone. There you go. Okay, Wretched Shades. That's also what I call my sunglasses when I can't find them. Okay, here we go. See, starting on 5. Come on! Okay. Was it, or was it? Whatever. We get to 5. Okay, so what we could hear in Wretched Shades was taking some similar notes that we've heard well in the main theme, but not quite how it was in the main theme as we've heard so far. You know, it starts off like Tartarus, but instead of going to the major third like Tartarus did, it's and that little descending pattern there. So what we could see, maybe the Wretched Shades are indeed in Tartarus, and we could also confirm that by saying that both keys are G minor, as House of Hades was G minor. So the main theme was in the key of C minor. House of Hades, Tartarus, and Wretched Shades have all been in the key of G minor, which would lead me to believe that these are all in the same biome, area, stage level, etc. Let's check out this next one, which is called Lament of Orpheus. Ooh. Oh, heck yes. Wow. That was absolutely gorgeous. Let's grab the chords for that because I have a feeling we're going to be hearing those chords again. There's no way we're just going to hear those chords one time. No way. So we have G minor, that'd be 1. Then we have flat 3, major, to 4 minor, back to flat 3, flat 2, cool, back to 1. Yeah, it's a leading tone. It'd be 7-fully diminished. Oh no, I just grabbed the marker. Okay, so 7. Well, no, not sharp, sorry. Just 7, back to 1. And I bet you we're going to hear those chords again. I'll bet you. All right, here we go. Let's check out the painful way. We can do this the easy way or the painful way. Pain never felt so good. Okay, I'll behave. So, hey, look, the painful, really cool motif here, and I'm gonna call this motif. Now, what was really cool is in the sort of what I'm assuming is the actual. Well, I'm just laughing at Rubberman who did the big surprise eyes. What we could do too is we could look at when this dropped right into the second part, which I'm assuming is combat. It took the motif down, but the motif is essentially start, half step up, whole step down, home. So start, half step up, whole step down, whole step back up. Well, technically a minor third down. Okay, let me start again. Start, half step up, minor third down, whole step up. Okay, and that motif. There you go. And now we could see that same thing down, taken down by a fifth. So this was going C, D flat, B flat, C, and then next it goes G, A flat, F, G. There we go. Now, what was cool too is this actually brought chords in as really a featured part of what was going on. Well, maybe just, yeah, just straight diminished, not fully diminished 7. I think I had that right there. There you go. Really, really cool stuff here so far, and painful. So what we can see in terms of keys so far, theme 1 in C minor, House of Hades, Tartarus, Wretched Shades, Orpheus, all in G minor now. Painful way coming back to C minor, and indeed with the motif of whatever. Can't sing that fast. All right, painful way. Okay. And let's keep this going with From Olympus. Zeus hath decreed. All right, let's check it out. From Olympus. C minor again. Love it. Okay, so what's pretty cool is in Olympus we actually hear two motifs to a degree. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we hear two motifs reused. First, we hear a motif taken from Wretched Shades. All right, well, second, we hear a motif taken from Wretched Shades. First, we hear a motif from Painful Way. So I'm going to call motif 1 anytime we go ma-di-do-da, anytime we go up a half step, down a minor third, and then up a whole step. I'm going to call that motif 1. Motif 2 is anytime we're going to be descending by a skip 1. What do I mean by that? Well, here, check this out. We go up 1, we skip down 1, we go up 1, we skip down 1, we skip 1, we go up, and so it's the pattern of you go up 1, skip 1 down, up 1, skip 1 down. So anytime we have that pattern, I'm going to call that pattern of skipping 1, motif 2, I'm going to call motif 1, ba-di-do-da, anytime we hear that. And interestingly enough, I mean, I don't think we've heard much from theme 1 in a minute. Really, we could think of Olympus as pulling directly from ideas from Painful Way and from Wretched. Super cool. Let's keep it going with... By the way, stop, drop, dash in the chat on YouTube was like, finally, informative reaction content. Yes. In fact, what if I told you this wasn't even a reaction? This actually was informative content, and I just called it a reaction because that's what YouTube wants me to call it. All right, let's check out through Asphodel. Drones again. Oh, D now. Come on, don't tease me. Stop teasing me, Darren. Let's go, buddy. Come on. I'm getting sweaty palms. Like, let's go. Oh, yes! Oh, come on! Oh, motif 2, motif 2. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, come on. Now, please. Yes. Motif 2. That was sick. Okay, we had someone say that sounds like the chords of Lament of Orpheus. It says, Pixel Demon. Let's scooch it back a second. Yeah. So, kind of, sort of. We could, okay. Yeah, I'll tell you what. We're going to call motif 3 is going to be a harmonic motif. Sorry, motif 4. And we're going to call it 1 to 7 diminished. Because in Orpheus, we had 1 to 7 diminished. In Painful Wave, we had 1 to 7 diminished. So what we have so far, to catch you up, is we have 4 motifs that we're looking at. And there might be a 5th one that we just heard in Asphodel. So I'm going to go back and actually listen for a moment, make sure I grab it. Because it was a little, well, interesting. Right, in Asphodel, we had this idea for sure, which was pretty cool. So motif 1 is balirora. Motif 2 is ma-de-do-de-do-de-do-de-do, which we could hear a bunch of times in different areas in Asphodel and different instruments. We heard motif 2. Motif 3 is anytime, it's a harmonic motif, anytime we have one minor chord to a one major chord. Motif 4 is going to be one minor to 7 diminished. So when I hold up fingers while we're listening to things, what I'm doing is I'm telling you right now, motif 1 is happening right now, motif 2 is happening right now, motif 3 right now, motif 4, and that way I don't have to yell over the OST, even though I might get excited and I might also yell over the OST. So we're going to bring it back just a moment through Asphodel. I've been over hill and Asphodel. It's groups of threes. I'm having trouble figuring out what the notes are. If you have perfect pitch, feel free to fire it off in the chat. It'll save us some time. Yeah, okay. I don't know why I can't hear that third note. Sorry, guys. Something like that. All right, whatever. We're going to leave that one. There was a motif there, and I'm not going to get it. Let's go check out Good Riddance. Eurydice of Your Life. Sorry, Eurydice solo. All right, let's listen to some of that again. I'm going to grab the chords this time. That was delightful. That was incredible. That was some good singing too. Like both vocal tracks so far, spot on. Really, really delightful stuff. So I have 1 to flat 7. To 4, flat 3, to flat 7 to flat 6.
No burdens, no further debts to be paid. Endless can rest his weary bones. The weight of the world.
Okay, and then goes. Second ending, flat 2, 1, to flat 7, flat 6,
All falls away in time.
to 7, diminished. So we can see that a lot of the time here, in fact, in Orpheus and in Painful Way, each chord progression is ultimately ending on a 7 fully diminished 7, which creates a leading tone and perfect authentic cadence to bring us back home. Well, technically creates a half cadence because it ends on it. It doesn't go back to one before that. It doesn't matter. Point is, it goes to the leading tone each time. And so that in and of itself, if we were to condense the entire song of Good Riddance and also Orpheus, we could basically say both of them follow the motif 4. Each one of them are an expanded version of motif 4. Yes, there's so many things, so many more things going on inside of it, for sure. And indeed, furthermore, we can see that Orpheus, let's see, 1, flat 3, 4, 4. Wow, okay, interesting. So actually the first 4 chords of Good Riddance, there's only 1 chord difference from Orpheus. So in Orpheus, I'm going to play it in the same key so you can hear. So in Orpheus, if we were in the key of C minor, it would be G minor, E flat, F minor, E flat. Whereas in Good Riddance, it goes 1 to flat 7, then to 4 minor, then to flat 3. Furthermore, in the second ending of Good Riddance, it goes to flat 2, and we can actually see that the same flat 2 is present in Orpheus, and in each case, the flat 2 ultimately leads us to a 7 diminished, which brings us back. So Good Riddance in Orpheus, interestingly enough, if we look at it from a higher level, Good Riddance is in C minor, Orpheus is in G minor. We've had a couple of songs in the key of C minor, a couple songs, pieces and songs in the key of C minor, pieces and songs in the key of G minor. And it's sort of like Good Riddance and Orpheus are 2 sides of the same coin, separated by an interval of a fifth. And indeed, furthermore, in Painful Way, we heard the motif 1 in C, and then we heard motif 1 starting on G as well. So there's this connection between the key of C minor and the key of G minor, which brings us back to this idea of two worlds. And yes, Asphodel was in the key of D minor, but that's really the exception to everything we've heard so far. Everything we've heard so far has essentially been in two keys. Which brings us back to the two worlds idea. Interesting stuff. Let's keep this going with final expense, which is the two coins on the eyes. Interesting stuff. And Pixel Demon has a question. By the way, ask questions about the... Please feel free to ask questions about the OST as we go through. Because when you ask questions, I get to break things down and tell you things that, well, I might not think of telling you, because even though I am a music teacher, doesn't mean I think of everything. I'm not an omniscient and omnipotent being. And so when you ask me questions, it's actually super, super helpful. So what makes good Riddance sound uplifting even though it's in a minor key? Well, does it sound uplifting? I don't know that it does, but I would certainly say that it's the limited use of minor chords and the predominant use of major chords. So if we were to count the number of minor and major chords here in Good Riddance, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 minor chords in the entire song. Whereas major chords, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. So we literally have a 2-to-1 ratio of major chords to minor chords, and because there's so many more major chords, that is what might lead you to use the word uplifting. And it also has to do with the way that it's arranged, but you can think about it that way too. Cool. All right, let's keep this going with final expense. It's the final expense. Yabba-da-da, yabba-da-da-da. All right, let's do it. It's so as spooky. So bum 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 bum. We're gonna call it a motif now. That was actually moved around too with the notes, so we're actually gonna write the rhythm down and also keep that in mind as a rhythmic motif. Well, maybe not. We haven't heard too many rhythmic. Well, we have heard a couple rhythmic motifs. We're gonna just keep that bum 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 bum. Final expense. That's gonna be what we're gonna think of really as the motif of final expense. Bum, 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 bum. Now, yeah, I don't think we've had anything quite like this so far in the OST. So that's pretty cool. That's definitely a new motif for us. Let's check out Mouth of Styx. Let's check it out. A milkshake brings the boy to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours if you change that. If you jump it down, you can see right. If you I know the pieces fit. We heard what he's doing there. Okay, so a couple really cool things here in Mouth of Styx. So we heard a new motif, a new idea, which was. Well, I'll play it down here. That's a brand new idea, but here's the thing: the second part of this theme of Styx actually pulled directly from motif 2. Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da-da-da, whatever. Da-da, da-da, da-da-da-da-da. I'm paraphrasing here, but you get the idea. Motif 2 is actually showing up in the end of Styx. I love it when we start to get a couple pieces deep into an OST, because then we really start to see these motifs coming out to play, which is so cool. Let's keep this thing rocking and rolling with Primordial Chaos. Let's check it out.
And now we see the humpback whale. It moves majestically with its calf. It's been journeying for many months to reach its feeding grounds on the shores of the Pacific.
That was beautiful. I'm sorry for indulging myself in a very poor David Attenborough impression, but it just sounded like humpback whale should be there. That was beautiful. Primordial Chaos bringing us back to C minor, going back and forth essentially between two chords the whole time, 1 and a flat 2. Now we heard flat 2 show up in Orpheus. We heard flat 2 show up in Good Riddance. And we've heard flat 2 in a whole bunch of places. We heard the note flat 2 all the way back in our main theme. We've heard it in Tartarus, in Wretched, in Painful Way, in Asphodel, and yeah, very cool. And even in Motif 2. Okay, so we're going to keep this thing going with the Bloodless. That was wild. Okay, so a couple interesting things about Bloodless. Bloodless is in the key of A minor. The only piece we've had so far in A minor was Final Expense. So I'm going to guess that Final Expense and Bloodless are actually connected either through characters or through an area, a biome, an arena, a stage, a level. Something's connecting Final Expense and Bloodless because these are the only two we've had in the key of A minor. Furthermore, bum ba ba be bum ba ba be bum ba ba be bo be boo be boo be boo. We had ba be boo be boo be boo. We had that motif all the way back in Wretched. In addition to that, we can think about the fact that we have ba be boo ba, that we have the 1, the flat 2, and the flat 7 really as pulling from motif 1. So we can hear Bloodless is pulling from motif 1, it's pulling from Wretched, and indeed it is somehow, I believe, connected to Final Expense. There you go. Boat and death. You know what they say, give me boats or give me death. Let's check out Scourge of the Fairies. Oh no, I misread that. Scourge of the Furies. Never be the same. That was indeed, as Snappy in the chat has said, lit. So, a couple of cool things to think about for the Scourge of the Furies is that it's actually not dissimilar from the Asphodel. In the sense there's a 1-5 flat 6-5. We also had 1-5 flat 6-5 in Asphodel. Over hill, Asphodel, we have hit the dusty trail, and those caissons go rolling along. Okay, let's check out Hymm to Zagreus, and then we're going to take a short 5-minute break. We're going to check out Hymm to Zagreus, then we're going to take a short 5-minute break. Let's check out Hymm to Zagreus.
Sing of Zagreus, O muse, slayer of hydras, first of his name, born of Zeus as a serpent, in spite of Queen Hera, Zagreus came, torn to shreds by the Titans, devoured in pieces from his altar flame. The seed of Dionysus grew, the god of wine and feast anew, to live at home on Olympus, never presuming his origins true. Wrath of thunder and lightning struck down the Titans, burned into sand. Up from out in the ashes, born of the Titans, the mortals did stand to live the model of the gods, at once divine and further flawed, in twain the blood of immortals, of Zagreus ending, it flows in their veins. The prince unrelenting, prisoner to his king, never to leave, steadfast, endlessly toiling, doomed to remain, endlessly toiling, doomed to remain.
Wow, dude, that was great singing too. I love that. Now, in Hymm to Zagreus, we heard a couple interesting things. We heard 1 to flat 2, which is what we heard in Primordial Chaos. So perhaps Primordial Chaos, because that's where everything starts, right? So perhaps Zagreus is talking a story about something where everything starts. Perhaps that's a connection between the chord progressions. Also, Zagreus is the first time we've heard the key of F minor. In addition to that, we heard versions of motif 1 used ma-di-do-da, ma-da-di-do-da, da-da-do-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, and then also making that a 2, but essentially taking that idea of motif 1, which also, by the way, motif 1, now I'm thinking about it, is kind of the start of motif 2. So motif 2 really too, because we're using that skipping. The skipping of, let's see, you're going to keep F minor, so, cool. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and I'll see you back here in 5 minutes where we're going to do Hades Part 2 original soundtrack. I'm going to get that rocking and rolling set up for us. Look out for the volume that's about to hit you. Turn your volumes down because the pause music is going to be a little bit of a jump in volume. All right, we're going to do... Well, we're going to do 7 minutes on the clock to make sure I can get everything set up for part 2 here. Okay. 7 minutes on the clock. Here we go, starting now. Turn your volume down. All right, team. You about ready to rock? Cool. So the one compromise for doing these long streams is I get to eat. That is the compromise. Because the worst thing for me is when I do long streams and then I get hungry. And then I don't eat. And then I feel grumpy the rest of the day. So we're going to handle that. And I'm going to eat as we listen to music. If you can hear me chewing, just let me know. And I'll back the microphone away. Volume back up. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you very much. Volume is back up. All right. Let's do this thing. Let's rock this roll. Yep. Please turn your volumes up. This was the volume we started this stream at. All right, let's put on my to-do list, lower the volume of the break music. Great. Lower break music volume. Great. All right, let's do this. Field of Souls. I'm going to start a new one up here. Field of Souls. Here we go. Okay, so a couple of really cool things showing up here in Field of Souls. Number one, our motif 1, which was... We heard motif 1 here in Field of Souls, but this time it's actually presented as chords, which is really cool. A really interesting way of developing that motif. We also have a newly minted motif number 5. We've heard it enough times. We're going to call it a motif because it's showing up in so many places. We heard 1 5 flat 6 showing up in the Asphodel. We heard 1 5 flat 6 showing up in Scourge. Now we have 1 5 flat 6 showing up again in Field of Souls. That right there. That's 1 5 flat 6, 1 5 flat 6. And then there's some more stuff after that. But that's basically the idea. We have the 1 5 flat 6. We have motif 5. We have motif 1. But motif 1 not just as notes, but as chords, as we discussed. You take 2 notes or more, you put them together at the same time, you're going to get chords, you get harmony. And then this extra little... which is a really, really delicious riff coming there as well for Field of Souls. Let's check out River of Flame. guess he really meant that ending there. Some interesting things about the River of Flame that I'd love to point out to you is that there's this idea in here of... Again. And what that is, that's a simplified version of motif number 2. So motif number 2 does all this, it goes down 2, up 1, down 2, up 1. Well, it starts going up 1, up 1, down 2, up 1, down 2, up 1, down 2. That's motif 2. So what's happening here is, type a 3 in the chat if you can hear the connection between and it's outlining basically the same notes. It's descending, getting us to the same place. It's getting us to the same place, but it's getting us there in a much more simple way. It's simplified. It's like a simplified version of motif 2. And you could call it a completely different motif, but it's so similar. I'm going to go ahead and say that's motif 2 simplified. Now, in addition to that, we had, thank goodness, because it's been a minute, we had our major third hanging out here. Which was really cool to have 1, 2, natural 3, 4, 5, flat 6. Now, natural is not necessary to be put in there, but considering how many flat 3s we've had for this whole thing, and I accidentally wrote flat 3 the first time, we're going to go ahead and just put a natural right there. Really cool stuff. So let's keep this going with Death and I, which is going to be a short one. Ah. Back to theme 1. So I think it's interesting that, oh, Death and I is when you died. Got it. That makes sense, because Death and I is actually going and referring straight back to theme 1 and pulling straight from it. So that makes a lot of sense. That would be how that cookie crumbles. Let's check out Rage of Myrmidons. I'm not familiar with Myrmidons. Yeah, so to be clear, we're calling theme 1. Theme 1 is the main theme. Okay, let's check out Rage. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And I think about that poem at least once a week. Okay. Oh, I got really quiet, didn't I? There we go. We're back. Okay, here we go. Let's keep this going with Rage. 4-4 all day, baby. Okay, so a couple of interesting things for Rage. Rage Against the Dying of the Light. Number one, y'all were talking about what is the likely time signature. I'm going to go ahead and put my money on 7-4 plus 6-4. Now, what's interesting about 7-4 plus 6-4 having an actual equation and time signature is in of itself interesting. The most interesting part for me is the 6-4. I love it when 6-4, whenever you have 6 beats in a measure, usually that's going to be in compound meters. So 6-4 would actually be 6 quarter notes, and the dotted half note gets the beat, and there's 2 dotted half notes in a measure. So we could think of 6-4 as being 2 sets of 3 quarter notes, which are actually the beat divisions, and actually the beat unit are dotted half notes. That's the way you would typically think of 6-4, but no, indeed, here, in this case, these 6 are broken up into groups of 2s. And so you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and that is the beat. They're not the subdivision. It's not compound meter. Whereas 6-4 itself could be thought of as being a compound meter time signature, and indeed does indeed imply a compound meter time signature. As we've seen throughout these OSTs, that is not always the case. Some interesting things going on with the chords. We have 1 flat 2 flat 3 4 with the chords. 1 flat 7 1 flat 2, which is, you know, kind of a play on motif 1. The motif 1 is bo di do da, and then we have da do da di. So it's a recycling, it's a reconfiguration, it's a reordering, indeed, of the notes from motif 1. Those are just a couple of insights to connect what's going on with Rage of the Myrmidons. By the way, all of this will be on the midterm, so make sure you take notes. We're going to go on next to the Exalted. And no, you can't have the syllabus. Okay, my favorite part of this whole thing was the ah. Ah. Sick riff, man. The whole thing was sick. Yeah, the whole song was like so cool. Peace, excuse me. I think interesting motif 5 to a degree being shown in harmony. Let's see. Ah. Dude, crazy riff. Really cool stuff. We heard again that kind of sort of the riff that I kind of sort of just played. Now, I saw some people talking about triplets. No, I don't think that there's a single triplet in this entire piece of music, and I'll tell you why. I'd say the time signature is actually 12/8, and those there triplets are not actually triplets at all. Rather, they are the natural beat division of the dotted quarter note. That would get us 12/8 notes in the time signature 12/8. And remember that bottom number, when you're in compound meter, is lying to you. It's not actually telling you the beat unit, it's telling you the beat division. Okay, so 12/8 means there's 12 eighth notes in the measure, but the dotted chord note's actually the one that gets the beat. Let's check out Lost Words. Oh. We've heard this before. So Last Words, we've heard that chord progression before, but I've made a mistake and I didn't write it down. I think we heard this at the start of Orpheus. If I'm not incorrect, we heard that at the start of Orpheus. And so what that is, it's 1, 2, 5 over 2 to 3 to 2 to 5 back to 1, or 2, 2, maybe we can call it leading tone back to 1. But anyway, slice it any way you dice it. We have heard that before. Okay, let's check out the King and the Bull. It was thanks to the king and his bull that the emperor thought he had new clothes. It's about to turn into Enya. Well, I don't even know what to do with that. That was just insane. Yeah. That was nice. I see a lot of people in the chat referencing Doom, and I'm definitely picking up what you're putting down. You know, a lot of this stuff, you know, there's been a couple moments where there's been sort of these long build-ups, kind of like Mick Gordon. I mean, that was cool. There was some really interesting things in there. I loved it. I just have no idea what to do with that. So what we're going to do is say, that was delightful. Let's check out Gates of Hell. Sorry, I skipped one. Lament of Orpheus, I meant. I apologize. Interesting. So, Lament of Orpheus bringing back pretty much word for word. Well, not word for word. I wasn't paying attention to the lyrics, in full honesty. But in terms of the chords, same chord progression as we had before. Interesting thing to talk about that didn't last time is when it goes to the B section. So, it's hanging out in, excuse me, when it goes to the B, it hangs out on an A, which makes you feel like you're going to go back to the D, but you don't go back to the U, go back to G. So I saw Guitar Assassin saying ears are so confused. That's why. It's because it's hanging on that A, and that A feels so much like a dominant. It feels like that A surely is going to bring us back to D, but no, indeed, it doesn't. It actually is the supertonic, and which brings us right back to the tonic. Let's check out, now for real this time, the Gates of Hell. The sweet dreams are made of things. That percussion is sick. Spooky. No idea what Darren might have been plucking that string with, but whatever it was, I'd love to know. That made a very interesting sound. Now, what we had basically was one melodic motif that really held down the fort here in Gates of Hell, which was, we're in the key of C. It's going to be 5, flat 6, 4, 3. That major third. I tried to do it a fancy way I could keep this C going. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's check out God of the Dead. Ah. absolute insanity. A couple of things to point out. Number one, no duh that our main theme, the game is called Hades. And in Greek mythology, Hades is the god of the dead. So no duh. And when we died, we had the main theme. That should have been a clue right there. I didn't catch on. But sure enough, we have a meeting with the god of the dead, who is in fact Hades, and we hear the main theme. No duh. It took me a minute, but I got there. What I'd love to understand, what I still haven't been able to parse out, is this duplicity, the C minor, the C major. Is that just life and death, maybe? I'm not sure. Something else to point out is really something called rhythmic displacement. Now, the rhythmic displacement, this is not what I would think of as rhythmic displacement, but this kind of is. So it's like where you think beat 1 would be in the riff of a lot of the guitar parts starting in phase 2 was the drums were on beat 2. So the guitar and the drums were off by 1 beat from where you would think that they would go. And that's part of what really creates a lot of tension and a lot of friction in the music. And I'll show you what I mean. So where I'm saying 1, where I want to say 1 with the guitar, the drums are playing the snare. Usually the snare goes on 2, the kick goes on 1. In reggae, the snare goes on 1, the kick goes on 2. So it's playing a game where that's actually creating a feeling of unsettlement, unsettlingness in the music, is by taking where you would normally have the kick drum on 1 and putting the snare drum on 1 of the guitar riff. So I'm saying orienting to the guitar riff. Typically, I think we should generally think of orienting to the drums. So if we think of orienting to the drums, then the guitar riff is 1 beat later than it would be normally. So it's always starting a beat later than you would think. So it's always off by a beat. It's always late by a beat. And that gives you that feeling of, well, not put together. Not put togetherness, that destabilization. I mean, type of 4 in the chat if you felt like that music like destabilized you. Like, did that feel destabilizing? Yeah, Leafy Fifi says 4. Snappy. Ricemonger. Yeah. Yeah, it's not quite to the level of like the rhythm games in Mother 3, certainly, but it's quite a game. Let's check out On the Coast. Prosebud says it stabilized my desire to boogie. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Wow. And after, 30-something pieces, here we are on the coast, which, it ends in F. Starts off in C minor, ends up on an F major. We'll call it C minor. Uses some minor ones to flat twos like we've heard, but totally different from everything that we've heard so far on this OST, and if I may say, beautifully orchestrated and arranged. Absolutely love that. I just said the same thing twice. That was absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it's what the sun looks like. Exactly. We'll tell you what, we'll do Final Expense last. Here's In the Blood. Voices. Yeah, horns. The duality is we're related to Hades. The duality is we're the son of Hades and we have to defeat Hades. That's the duality. It's in the blood. That's the duality. That's the life and death, because Hades gave us life, but Hades actually represents death. That is the two worlds. Son of death. Heck yeah, that was sick. And we also figured out that the duality is we are the son of death, life of death, and death gave life. The duality, the minor to the major that we started this whole thing off with. Ah. The Unseen Ones. Oh my god. Man, if there was a pill I could take to be able to play guitar that fast, I would take that sucker every day. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's some sick guitar playing. Don't ask me to do that, because I can't do that. That's some wild stuff, man. That was some That was some next level shredding, man. That was insane. Oh, that was sick. Ah, that was, I mean, that was, I mean, absolutely beautiful. What a way to wrap this up. We're going to listen to Final Expense as we check out some super chats and things. Birdman 202 says, Blood and Darkness, one of my favorite games of all time. Darren Korb, composer, as well as voice of the main character. Zagreus did an excellent job with this. Flip Sword Paper Mario 64. You got it. Space Cowboy says, donation for Sonic Unleashed. Enjoy the first stream of the year, y'all. Thank you, Space Cowboy. Hideo Coffee Storm says you're in for a treat today. Agreed. A shout out to me, Woo Buns. Welcome to Best Supporters Ever. Check out the membership tab on the channel and vote for for your favorite OST. That's right, members only special vote. Alexander Lawrence says, super excited for Hades. But also Undertale Yellow. I was making it happen. Thank you. Ariel Martinez says, next press Persona 1. Yes, we got you all counted for Persona 4. Great. Persona 1. From Ariel Martinez. Alexander says, many tracks are half area theme, half battle theme. Yes, thank you, Alexander Lawrence. That makes sense why they picked up an energy halfway through. Godot Coffee Storm says, voice of the composer, Lament of Orpheus. Yes, thank you, Godot Coffee Storm. Incredible voice, too. Riatsila says, here for the whole soundtrack, but especially this track. Channels like sharing your favorite music with a friend who appreciates it. Well, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your super chat. I really appreciate it. Boonhunt 11, celebrating 20 months at Kazoo Club. Mikhail Mansbridge, hey Mikhail, hopes everything's going okay with you up in Canada. Says, always good to catch a stream, eh? Put this on Final Fantasy IX. Well, how about that? Thank you very much, Mikhail. Matthew Benke says, I forget which track it was, but one of the Elysium tracks sounds a lot like E1M1 at Doom's Gate from Doom. Kind of feels fit. Feels kind of fit in a way. Put this towards Cuphead. I think you'll love it. You got it. Godot Coffee Storm says, Hades is great fun if you ever have the desire to check it out. Gameplay loop is like crack, and the characters are great. Darren Korb is the voice of the main character. It looks like a lot of fun. And I'm going to put that on my list of video games to play. And Godot Coffee Storm, thank you very much. I did enjoy the new mix. Oh, for Final Expense. I'd also like to say thank you all so much for joining me. I didn't run any ads. So, if you want to support this channel, check out the Best Music Theory Book for Beginners 1. It'll help you understand everything about music you need to know, at least for the basics. It has sold over 5,000 copies to date, and it's in its 3rd edition. You can see it's got over 100 reviews on Amazon. And yeah. There you go, Jappy Padazaki coming in, saying put this towards Unreal Tournament. You got it, Jappy Padazaki. And we have Jetstorm coming in from Down Under, saying this was a sick OST. Glad it was explored. I'll put this one towards Ace Combat 5. Once again, have a good day. Thank you so much, Jetstorm. Thank you all so very much. And if you're not interested in the book, then I recommend checking out in the description of this video. You can get every single book and every single course I've ever made for $0. That's right, you can get a free trial to try out every single book and course I've ever made and get access to some sick software. There's a link in the video description. You can check that out. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Yabida, yabida, dabidi, dibida. Take care and goodbye.